Hello and welcome back to Finding McGeeda Jones. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I am going to be showing you a tool that I'm going to be using in 2023 that will, fingers crossed, I'm hoping will help me with my cash stuffing, my savings, my wealth building, and my investing. So this one tool, I'm hoping that it helps me. So if you're interested in seeing what that is, stay tuned. So welcome back. If you've been with my channel for a while, you have seen this form or a version of it. I haven't always used the fall decor form, but the form is pretty much the same. Or if it's been one of those off weeks, I've used a scratch piece of paper or whatever I could put my hands on. But this is something that I use to basically plot out my budget and how I'm stuffing my envelopes. So it's basically my monthly cash worksheet. And I get paid twice a month. I get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. And the paycheck I get on the 15th is the last paycheck I use for the current month. So currently we are in December. So my paycheck that I got on December 15th was the last paycheck I will be using for this month to fund the month of December. My paycheck on December 31st will be used as the first paycheck to fund January. So basically I fill out two of these forms and I, allocate what I'm going to be putting in my cash envelopes, my sinking funds. My savings challenges is usually a random amount. So once those are determined, I put them in here, and what goes into my Ally savings account. And what is in my Ally savings account is my long-term savings. So you guys have seen this form. I've used it a lot. And I don't know if I have it on the other side, but usually what I do is I print on the other side my expense check-in where I have what I budgeted versus what I'm showing you a blank piece of paper. I realize that there's nothing here if you're wondering. But usually I show the category, what was budgeted, what was spent, and the difference, and the reconciliation. So that's usually on two sides of the page, the other side of the page. So this has worked out for me. This whole format has worked out for me pretty well since I've been using it. And I have refined this over and over again to kind of get it to where I want it. And I really do like it. However, I wanted to take this form and add it to something that was kind of encompassing of my whole budgeting apparatus. So for 2023, I decided to create something that should help me kind of see everything in one place and kind of help me hopefully see trends if I set it up properly. So what did I make? What am I talking about? What is this tool? So the tool is this. It's a bullet journal. And you're going, ooh, okay, what are you going to do with that? So this is going to be my budgeting book. This is everything regarding budgeting for me, myself, that you see here from 2023 is going to be housed in this book. So why did I choose to use this over what I was using previously, the Happy Planner? Because when I was using this, I hole punched this. I went to a 8.5 by 11 size from the classic Happy Planner. I went to the big and I hole punched it and I put it in my planner. And I was using this for a long time. And I still love this layout. And I'm going to incorporate this layout into here. But why am I using a bound book versus a Happy Planner? Well, if we go into the book, and I'm going to show you in just a moment, this book is full of blank pages. And I know for some people, that's no bueno. I need structure. I need you to tell me where to put. I need you to tell me what to put where, and I need things lined up. I don't want to have to create that. Nah, I don't want that. That's fine. I am sometimes that person with a lot of other things. I don't want to set it up. I need you to set it up for me and show me where to put things. But in terms of, paper crafting, drawing, writing things out, forms and stuff like that, I tend to like to do my own things. Now, when I was setting up my original Big Happy Planner for the year 2022, I pulled a lot of forms off the internet. I was looking at a lot of inserts from Etsy and everything, and I was pulling them off. But the problem that I had with those is that they never really gave me exactly what I wanted. They were always, and it makes sense because no form is going to be perfect for every person. If you're selling them digitally, you have to make it so that the masses, most people can use whatever elements are on that form. But for me, I do investing. And of course I do the budgeting and the cash stuffings and everything, but I'm also out of debt. So I would always have a section on a form that did not pertain to me because I don't have any debt. So I always would have to repurpose that area and everything. And sometimes the form would have sections that I didn't use or too many categories, so the categories would be pre-filled. I'm just like, ugh. So this doesn't explain why I'm leaving the convenience of tearing out a page of a happy planner versus a bound book. I guess the only reason that I'm using this book is it makes me very intentional about how I set it up and what I put in here. And B, because the pages are completely blank, and yes, I could have gotten a disc system with blank pages, but I'm challenging myself to use this book and get creative with the supplies that I already have, and also get creative about how I organize my thoughts in terms of budgeting and how I set it up and what information I can get out of it. Like what kind of forms and layouts I can create to give me a better view of, my budget and how it's reacting over the course of a year. So my goal with this is to house everything in here in such a way that when I come back to it at the end of 2023, I can have an instant snapshot and go, oh, I see that investing, I did this. You have this up and down. I see income-wise, I did this, or hopefully I did this instead of this. With my Etsy shop, I did this. I can hopefully see trends because of the way I set up certain areas in this book. Now, this book will be housing all my income, investing, my savings, my Etsy income, anything. If I get monetized on YouTube, it'll house any income that comes from that. So this is just about budgeting. It doesn't have any meal planning. It doesn't have any YouTube scheduling or Instagram scheduling. That is going to be in another book. This is just about budgeting. And that's what I wanted to do. This is going to be a 2023 budget book. So when 2024 comes back and I kind of want to look at what I did in 2023, I can just flip through this and kind of go, hopefully, look at the awesome progress I made. And from 2023 to the end of 2024. So I can kind of like make those, see those trends and kind of see what's going on. So this is my book. And I will put up on the screen the listing that I got it. I got it on Amazon. And I didn't go too expensive because, you know what? Let's be honest. This is the first time I'm trying to set up a proper bullet journal. This is the first time that I've really sat down and thought about how I want to set up my pages. This is the first time I've ever intended to make my own budget book. So we don't know if this is going to last through the end of 2023. My hope is that I'm getting enough out of it that it does, and that I like it being housed in one thing. And because it's bound and I can't rip these pages out and start all over again, I'm very intentional about how I set it up. But yeah, I didn't want to go too expensive. I know Olive & Archer is the go-to standard. Like a lot of people love Olive & Archer, and there's other companies like Scribbles & Co. and just a lot of other places that make beautiful bullet journals with very thick paper and, great covers and everything. I went very basic with this. But I do think I got a quality bullet journal because, I like the elastic band here. This has 256 pages. So this might last me longer than a year, but we will see, because as I start using it, I'm going to keep revising what I put into it and how I put into it. But this has 256 pages. It has a pen loop, and it's a 120 page GSM, and it's a dot grid journal, and the paper is off white. It's not white, but I'm cool with that. So, and it's pretty thick. So in the back here, I did one of those things. Oh, and it also came with, I don't have them in here, but it came with for stencils. Hold on, let me show you what those stencils look like. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So these came in this pocket right here. And I'm going to, full disclosure, I have a lot of stencils that look similar to this. So some of these were ones that I've already owned and they were duplicates. So it's kind of hard for me to remember which actual stencils were in the pack. But I believe it was a weekend one. I know it was a decorative one. And I know it was one with numbers and symbols and lines. So, and they have a lot of great little symbols on here that you can use within your bullet journal. But they do come with stencils. And it has a cute little pocket back here. And it has the pen loop. And like I said, it has, you know, the dot grid paper. So it's I was happy with it. So far I'm happy with it. And it has they call it vegan leather. I call it faux leather. I don't know what the difference between vegan leather and faux leather. Maybe if someone could put it in the comments, they can tell me. I think that's just marketing, but I mean, I have nothing against vegan/faux leather. I mean, I think it's great. But this is not leather, but it's vegan leather. And yeah, and it comes with two little bookmarks right here. So this, I thought when I saw it online, and I don't remember the price, but like I said, I'll put the listing up on the screen so you can kind of see what I got and what the colors are available. So if you see what I'm doing here and decide you want to do something similar, yeah, I will link it in the description below as well. But this fulfilled my needs, and for a first-time bullet journaler, it had everything that I wanted. I mean, I wanted pretty thick paper, and I definitely wanted dot grid. And I definitely wanted this band and a pen loop and everything. I didn't need the stencils, but the stencils were a nice little addition. I have a lot of stencils. I have a lot of craft supplies, y'all. I have a lot of craft supplies. So one of the things I want to do with this journal is to use my craft supplies in creating spreads. So that's one of the things. So this journal, this journal, I keep calling it a journal, but it's a budget book and it's going to be a journal, will be used. You will see this, maybe 3 times a month, and I'm gonna in that I'm gonna be doing a monthly setup. You're gonna see me create this within there, and you're gonna see me work from these budget sheets within here. And at the end of the month, actually 4 times a month. So you're gonna be doing a setup, 2 pay periods, and no, 3 times a month. Setup, 2 pay periods, and 1 pay period is gonna be a reconciliation. So 3 or 4. I don't know. When it happens, it happens. You'll see how many setups there are. So, because I am me and I'm extra, I had to come up with a theme with my journal. And so I was thinking, and normally I wanted to do it like, you know, you see, I don't know if you've seen people do bullet journal setups or bullet journal plans with me, but they kind of show you their line pencil drawings, and they kind of show you how they do drawing in. They did the voiceover thing, and it looks beautiful, and you're like, oh my God, I want to do that. That was not me. I took forever trying to figure out what kind of theme I wanted from here, and I definitely did want a theme. I wanted it, even if I get more simplistic in my monthly layouts, I wanted the setup to be a little bit more artsy, a little bit more creative. So I want it to look pretty so I can use it, because, you know, pretty makes you want to use things. So that's kind of what I did. And I was thinking about, I started and erased so many themes. And let me just tell you, I used basically a mechanical pencil when I was setting up with my line drawings, and this eraser. This is a I think it's a Pentel eraser, but these erasers are great because I drew a myriad of things, and it just erased so cleanly. Like, it was almost like it wasn't even there. So that was one of the things I really did like about this paper. And the paper is really smooth. And I could draw something. I could draw, like, I don't know. And just go in and just erase it. And it's completely, almost like it wasn't even there. And I did that several times. So I didn't know when to record, because I started a theme and I go, nah, I don't like it. I started something else, I go, nah, I don't like it. So it went on and on and on and on and on. So I'm thinking, there's no way I can film this because it's just a mess. So I thought I'd show you the end product of my setup, which is not traditionally what people do with bullet journals. But I promise you, if there's something you're interested in seeing me set up month by month, I will be recording and doing voiceovers for my monthly setups, and you'll see how those go. Okay, so without further ado, let's start from the beginning. So my theme, and I'm gonna have to explain to you because you probably won't get it. Well, you probably will get it. It's not obscure, but it's more focused on The Wiz rather than The Wizard of Oz, because The Wiz, I think The Wiz, Dorothy was Diana Ross's character. Dorothy was from Chicago or New York, I can't remember, but she was from the big city. Wasn't from rural farmland, and I kind of thought The Wiz, the Yellow Brick Road, My Road to Financial Freedom, and I wanted something that represented New York, and so that's what I came up with. So just know, before I show this to you, this is a little bit of a work in progress. There will be additions. I want to put a vinyl in here. But this is where I am so far. I haven't even put my name in here, which, I mean, I know it's sacrilege in the budgeting, is the bullet journal community, but whatever. So let's start. We're going to start with, like you see, 2023 budget journal. I haven't put my name in here. So, but I did do a cover page. So we're going to go ahead and look at that. And there's these two pages stick together. So this is a very simplistic cover page, and it has a New York skyline. I just basically took a picture of the internet and I kind of recreated it with shapes and boxes and everything. That's it. Put 2023 in here, and the Yellow Brick Road. And I got this Yellow Brick Road from a paper pad that I bought. It's a fall paper pad, and it had this beautiful brick paper pattern. And I'm like, I've got to use that somewhere. I don't know where so it gave me an opportunity to use this beautiful gold and yellow paper pattern. Okay, so this is my cover, my intro pages and everything. I want to put a quote in here, but I haven't figured out what the quote is yet. If you guys have any suggestions about quotes that I can put in here related to The Wiz or Road to Financial Independence, let me know. I'm taking all suggestions. Okay, so that's simple, my cover page. So the next page is going to be my 2022 finances versus my 2023 finances. And I wanted a page that showed my whole kind of picture at a glance, and I wanted something side by side so I'm going to fill out at the end of this year. And this I'm going to start populating at the beginning of next year. And I wanted something that kind of showed me the progress, because at this point now, one of the reasons I put this book together, I have to go to a lot of different websites and kind of like pull different things together. And I get these emails that kind of give me updates. And when I get the emails, I can just kind of populate these things. And of course, when I'm doing my budget, I know what my income is. I kind of know what my overall monthly expenses were, what my savings were, and what my investments were. So I want to kind of get a whole picture of my net worth. So that's what this is. And I will tell you now that this, as you will see, this is not perfect. This is the first time I set up a bullet journal, so I made some mistakes, and there's stuff that I'm not completely happy with, like this situation right here, which we won't talk about, and I had to redo all these. So the thing of committing to something on paper with pen is very daunting, but it makes you think about it before you put it down. So that's kind of what I'm liking about this whole bullet journal. I can't just I could rip a page out, but that's going to look very janky. But I can't rip a page out and just going, oh, I'm going to start over again. Because knowing me, I will have a bunch of like big old gaps in the spine of ripped pages, and I don't want that. So there we go. So the next page is this is an overview of everything that's gone on without getting very specific. It's just by month, totals, everything. Okay. Then we've got a year at a glance, and this is just a calendar with, January to December. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then we have goals. So we have personal goals, and I realized right here, this is supposed to be my personal finance goals, not my overall personal, get in shape, eat better, not those goals. So these are just finance goals. So I have to write those out. Right here is going to be my Funding McGeeda Jones goals. So these are going to be business goals versus personal goals. Okay. So the next one is a future log, and this is going to house all my annual payments, anything that's coming up, any kind of holidays. I mean, I debated between whether I should put holidays in here or not, but I think I will. But basically, it's going to house, when big things come up, tax day, all that fun stuff, and I started writing in some dates here. So There you go. So this is one was a kind of a fun one to do, but it was also nerve-wracking because I'm basically cutting pages. So this is what you call a Dutch door. And I wanted something that I could just flip through the pages within a section. And you can see I made a mistake here because there's no tab here, but I think it turned out pretty cute. And I kept the yellow brick road theme through a couple of these pages. So you have it here, and you also have it here in future log. And I'm not gonna, okay, I'm gonna stop pointing out all my mistakes. You guys can see them. So we're gonna keep going. And so the next one after my future log, I'm gonna have my investments. Now, 2022 was a year of ups and downs, mostly downs. So I wanted to see, and when I just look at my balance and I'm a buy and hold kind of girl. I invest in index funds, low fee index funds, mostly VTSAX, which is an index fund that encompasses the entire United States stock market. Every business that is on the market is in this fund. So it's the ultimate in diversification. It is a low cost index fund, and it is cap weighted. So the companies that have the biggest revenue, like an Apple, a Google, Facebook, an Amazon, you are buying more of their stock than some other lesser named companies that are like more lower on the revenue scale of the index fund. The other thing I like about VTXAX is it's self-cleansing. So if for some reason, an electric car owner, we won't mention any names, decides to buy a communications app, and there's some fallout between that, and the electric car owner is asked to leave the CEO position of his car company because of what's happening on the communications app side, and the stock tanks, then that gets weighted less. So I'm buying less of that stock. And if for some reason the car company goes out of business, which I'm not saying it will, I don't imagine that it will, but if it for some reason that car company went out of business, that company would come off that index fund and would be replaced with another up and coming company. So the VTXAX is one of my favorite things, and it's one of the things I invest almost most of my money in because it has pretty much every company that you can think of that is United States based on the United States stock market, which encompasses about 4,000 companies and I don't know how many industries. So if you say, oh, I'm going to buy Walmart, you're already buying it with VTXAX. If I'm going to be saying I'm going to buy Amazon, you're already buying it. If I'm going to buy McDonald's, you're already buying it. You're buying any company you can think of is in this fund. It's a low cost fund, so you're not paying a ton of fees. And so that's what I buy. That's what most of my investments are in. And, like everything, it's not doing so great, but it's doing overall, it's a good fund. And it overall, in general, it gets between an 8 and 10% return. So, so that's what I invest in. That's what most of my investments in. That's what most of my 401k is in, my Roth is in, and I have a couple other different investments in. I have a high yield index fund, and they're all low cost. They're mostly all Vanguard. So that's what I do. And that's why I don't talk about my investments too much, because I am not a single stock investor. I am an index fund investor because I don't like to pay attention to it. I want to know that it's doing well, but I also don't want to monitor it. And I know some people love that. I think Mommy Trader is great for teaching people about that and telling them how to invest and, encouraging them to invest. And I think if you haven't checked out Mommy Trader, please go check her out. She's amazing. She is so far and beyond her knowledge of investing and investing in single stocks and all that other great stuff. Me personally, I like to set it and forget it. And if you're like a set it and forget it type of person and you are in the wealth building phase, VTI if you want an ETF, VTXAX if you want a mutual fund, are the best way to go if you're kind of set it, forget it, and I don't want to look at this, I don't want to care about this, I want to look at it 10 years from now and see how it's doing. And most likely, if you just invest in it consistently and leave it alone, 10 years from now, you'll be doing really, really well. So that's my whole spiel of investing. But to talk about this page, I basically wanted to keep a running total of what I invested each month versus, like a chart. I wanted a visual chart to kind of see how those investments are doing. So yeah, so that's what I kind of want to look at. So I started where I know I am. So my 401k, I know I'm at least at 200. And with my Roth IRA, I know I'm at least at 40K. So, I just kind of wanted to keep it all in one place so I can see the little, the little patterns that are working here. And I have a little quote here, and I think this is the first quote that I have here. Let's go back and check. I think that's the first quote. Oh, no, it wasn't the first quote. Yeah, it was the first quote. So let's go back here. The quote is, "When I'm patiently disciplined, my progress is assured." So that, I thought that was kind of appropriate for in terms of investment, because sometimes investing requires patience, and it definitely requires consistency, and it definitely requires patience. And an investor is someone who stays in for the long term. A trader is someone who goes in and out. So think about that, whether you're an investor or a trader. I like to think of myself as an investor. Okay. So I also have a space here for my HSA, and I anytime I put money into the HSA, I think the maximum limit is this year is $38.50 or $37.50 for a single person. I pretty much put in the same amount that comes from my paycheck, and then my employer puts that amount in. And so I max out my HSA every year. And I try not to use that money for medical expenses. That's why I have a medical sinking fund. And I think I started at 25K. I think I have a balance of at least 25K in my HSA, but I have to go check about that. Yeah, and this is my taxable account, which is basically my home account. So when you see me do a 100 envelope challenge, and I take money and I put it into those little mini envelopes, that money goes into this account. So I also, in addition to the money that I pull out and put into my M1 account for my home, from the 100 envelope challenge, I put in at least $10 every month. $10 every week. So when you look at when you see me doing cash stuffing, know that I'm taking a lot okay, let's back up. Because I started my investing journey, not my investing journey, I've been putting money into a 401k, but I haven't really been putting it in with any kind of purpose. It's kind of like my company, made me, they put me in at 3% match, and I was like, yeah, okay. And for years, I just let that go. I was just meeting the match, and I didn't know what I was invested in, and I wasn't really paying attention. It wasn't until I hit 50 that I was kind of starting to freak out. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I need to get a financial advisor. I need to figure this out. I need to save more money. I'm going to retire in 12 years. What's going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. So when I turned 50, I really started taking this stuff seriously. I really started reading up on investing. I really started watching YouTube videos, listening to finance channels, just doing everything I could, because I was already out of debt at 50, but I didn't know anything about investing. And so I really had to kind of bring myself up to speed. And that's how I came to my point of my whole investing strategy of just keeping it simple, VTXAX, the wealth building strategy, and just kind of like keeping it simple. So I say all that to say is, when you see me doing the cash stuffing and you see the amounts that I'm stuffing, that's the money left over from after I put money in my 401k. That's the money that's left over after I put $500 a month into my Roth IRA. And that's the money left over after they take like $300 out of my HSA. And then from that is I put money into my taxable account from my savings challenges, and I think I put $40 a month extra in addition to the savings challenges into my taxable account, which is my home fund. So like with these right here, I'm going to write down the balances and create a little chart so I can just visually see what's going on with my investments. Okay. And for notes, I'm going to put like the HSA limits and the funds. I think I'm invested in 2 funds here. This one, I'm invested a couple funds, mostly VTXAX, or sorry, VTI, which is the ETF in there, or in the VTXAS, it's the mutual fund, but I'm invested in VTI. This is a target date fund, but it's a Vanguard target date fund, so it has a bunch of different things in it, but yeah, it's a target date fund. This one, Roth, it's pretty much all VTXAX, okay? So there you go. So the next one is my credit cards. As much as you know, if you're new to this channel and maybe this is your first video, I use prop money in my cash stuffings. Exclusively prop money. You will never see me, well, you have not ever seen me use cash. I'm never going to say never, but pretty much you have not seen me use cash. I use credit cards for everything. And the reason for that is that I like to accumulate points. I apply for credit cards. First of all, okay, let's back up. First of all, I am out of debt. I have no debt, and I have gone through the process of getting myself out of debt, which took 5+ years to do. And actually it took longer than that because I was kind of doing Dave Ramsey and then I kind of wasn't, but it was a journey, and I got to the point where I was out of debt. And I've gotten to the point where I feel that I am responsible enough with credit cards to use them responsibly within a budget. And y'all know I've gone over budget, but I haven't gone so much over budget intentionally that I wasn't able to keep my savings intact, keep my 3 to 6 months expenses intact, and that I can't pay it off every month. That's the key. I use my credit cards over cash, and my checking account is just a bucket of money, and I have my credit cards on auto pay. So when my credit card goes through, it goes to that checking account, and my checking account has enough money into it to pay out that credit card in full every month. I do not carry a balance. Now, the reason I use my credit cards is because I like travel rewards. I like points. I like to go places. So this trip that I recently took back home to visit my mom, part of it was because I was able to get a cheap flight because of the credit, but I had to stay in a hotel for a week for reasons. Usually I stay with a relative, but for reasons I'm not going to get into, I had to stay in a hotel for a week. And I wasn't going to stay in a janky hotel for a week, so I wanted something pretty decent. And I was able to use travel rewards points for most of that hotel by just putting everything on my credit card. Now, there's some people out there that are ninja masters at this. I'm not one of them. I'm hoping to get better in 2023, open up more credit cards, but I'm not opening up so many credit cards that it starts to mess with my credit. I'm pretty conservative about how many credit cards I open, but some people are pretty good at, doing these credit card rewards and credit hacking. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to figure out the best way to use my points to get the best advantages. But that's why I use prop money in my cash stuffings and credit cards in for almost all my purchases. And I did mention that I'm able to do this because I have a $500 cushion in my checking account. So if something unexpected comes through, if a bill's a little bit more than it needs to be, I have $500 cushion in my checking account that can absorb that until I put the money back. So there's that. But I say all that to say, I wanted a place to kind of keep kind of tabs on my credit cards. And basically it's not going to have my credit card number on it, but it will have the name of the credit card, the limit, how many points I've accumulated, the payment date, the expiration date, the annual fee. A lot of these credit cards, if you're getting points, will have some kind of annual fee. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. So I'm not an expert in credit hacking. There are a lot of channels out there that can tell you the best way to do it. I can tell you a little bit. I can tell you how much I've done, but I'm by no means an expert in it. So, and also these credit cards, to keep them kind of from the not canceling out, I have pretty much every credit card. I have an auto pay bill that's on that credit card. So I may have Netflix on this card, I may have Hulu on this card, I may have Disney Plus on this card, Costco on this card, whatever. So I put some kind of auto pay, and of course it all funnels through. They are all set to auto pay in full at the end of the month when they're due, and they auto pay through one checking account. So that's how this all works. Okay. So I just kind of wanted a page that kind of detailed all of that, or 2 pages. Okay. So the next one is, and this one I may have to add more pages, but I'm going to be reorganizing my binders. So hopefully this will work. If not, I may have to add more pages with more line items. We will see. So the next one is my sinking funds. I kind of wanted to keep a tally of what the fund is, what the start was, and what the finish was for the year. So let's say this is, I don't know, healthcare fund. And I started with $200 and I didn't spend anything and I ended up with $500 or whatever. These are for, and I have a high priority here. So in this one will be emergency funds, healthcare account. I'm gonna probably add a couple different funds. Now, in theory, I don't know how useful this page will be because I know that you pull money out of these funds, based on emergencies or something like that. But some of them are more long-term than others, so we'll see. So I have a low priority one, which this is probably the area that I could have taken out, but we'll see. And I have wish funds. And the wish funds are things that I'm just going to be saving for long term. So in terms of, I want a new mattress. I want to get an iPad. I want to eventually buy a car. There's certain things that I won't be pulling out that fund because I'm going to keep saving until I save the amount of money I need to get the thing. So that's what these wish funds are for. And they're not going to be heavily prioritized. Whenever I have money, I'm going to be putting them in there. But it'll be interesting to see what I started with and what I finished with. This page I created, then I thought about it. I go, do I really need that kind of setup? But we'll see. We'll see how useful this page is. So this page is basically my 2023 wins. And this is kind of like, the milestones I did. I don't have debt, so it's kind of like, oh, I finished this savings challenge, and it was a big one. Let's say I finished my 100 envelope challenge, which God only knows what that will be. So let's say I finished I will put something like that there. Or let's say I got a big bonus, I will put that there. Or let's say I had a really good Etsy month and I added a lot of great sales, I'll put that there. So this is kind of something where I can capture all the cool things financially that happened to me. Maybe if I've achieved a goal early, or I finished up my next 6 months in living expenses, I could put that there and the date that I did it. So that's what this area is for. And the quote here says, there is a soul force in the universe which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. And that's a quote from Gandhi, which I realized I spelled wrong. It's Gandhi here, so we're going to have to fix that. But it's Gandhi, not Gandhi. So the next one is all about Etsy. It's all about my business, all about the base. So the thing with Etsy is I didn't have anywhere that I was tracking this information. And yes, accounting software can do this, and I have accounting software. But as I said, I wanted everything in one book. So if I'm up in the middle of the night, I don't have to log in anything. I just look in here and just track it and see what's going on, bird's eye view at any given moment. And I don't have to search through pages. Okay, so Etsy stats will have income. So this is a year's worth of income, taxes, business money that goes back in the business, and any salary that I give myself. So that's what I want to track in terms of Etsy and how that's allocated. Over here are Etsy expenses. Now this also will probably change because I might add some different expense types, but this is what we have so far. Like I said, I have a lot of pages in here, so I can probably go back and put some extra pages in here if I feel I need them. And so this is also for a year. Totals down at the bottom, and we'll kind of just see how that goes. And that'll create a little chart of up and down. Excuse me. This is to track my Etsy sales. I think this is going to be interesting to see, like what months do really well and what months don't. Like if I do a product launch, kind of like how did that do? Just, I think that'll be interesting to see. This, I didn't label it. I need to put a label here. But these are my Etsy sinking funds, and these are like the long-term ones, like my cushion, my emergency fund, my P.O. box, my subscriptions, and repay, because I made myself a little loan to Etsy, so I'm going to pay myself back. I mean, not Etsy. I made myself a little loan to my Funding McGeeda Jones business, so I'm going to have to pay that back. But I want to keep it into one fund and then give myself a lump sum back. Okay. And also this is the Amex billings. So I have a separate, entirely separate credit card that I use for my Etsy business. I put all my business expenses on that credit card. I have an entirely separate banking account and savings account that I use for my business. So if you've talked to any accountant, any person who runs a business, they said the best practices is to keep your business and personal separate. So I have a separate Funding McGeeda Jones checking and savings account that has nothing to do with personal, and I have a separate Funding McGeeda Jones credit card that has nothing to do with personal. So that is where I'm going to be tracking my monthly, what that monthly total is that I was billed, that I was paid every month here. So yeah, so these are the things I thought I should track for my business, and we will see. Like I said, this is going to evolve, so I might find I need other things. I don't need certain things, so we'll see how all that goes. But the quote here is, I'm willing to work at what I love. So I like that little quote. So the next page is, oh, that's it. Okay, so the next page is going to be January setup. So this is the pages to start January setup. And I will be doing a video on that at the end of December, so you can see what my setup is going to look like. Like I said, I'm going to try to recreate something that looks similar to this in my journal. And I'm going to have some extra pages as well to kind of help me throughout the month track certain things. But one of the first things I'm going to do is go back into here at the end of December and kind of fill all this in, because this has already happened. This is what's going to happen. And overall, I just hope this helps me get a good financial picture of what I'm doing. And I'm sure as the year progresses, I will have a lot of changes to this. So there you go. So one of the things I didn't show you, and what I'm going to show you at the end, is because I want to be creative, and I'm trying not to buy new supplies for this book. One of the things I did buy is dot pins that create little dots. That's it. Oh no, that's not it. I'm lying. And I bought 2 packs of Crayolas because they were buy one and get one 50% off, and I just Crayola markers, and I couldn't pass that up because they work beautifully in this book. So if you look in the back here, I swatched a lot of things to see what this paper could handle. And the paper can handle a lot. It can handle a lot. So there's no ghosting here. This is the markers that I used right here, and there's no ghosting. Now, these are pigment inks that I swatched. And you can see that these are the pigment inks, meaning that they sit on top of the paper. And if you see, I swatched these with the ink stamps that I have, and this was the stamp that I used. You can't see it on this side. These are the Ranger Archival inks, which I really do love these inks because they give a really clear image, but you can see them on this side, so I won't be using these in this planner. And these are the Studio G pigment inks. I think I just got these at Michael's because they were like on sale. These are one of the first inks that I got. They do not show, so I might be using those, but these take a while to dry. This is a grid spacing, so I can kind of like work out my layouts with this. I've improved upon this already. And these are just swatches of the pins that I know I can use. So if you look over here, there's not too much ghosting here. There's a little bit of ghosting, not too much. So there's a lot of the pins that I have. There's a lot of pins that I can use. So I was very excited about that. And I have a ton of pins, y'all. A ton of pins. So, as I said, they gave you some stencils in this book. I already had a ton of stencils, and so I just kind of swatched all my stencils to kind of see what was in my collection. And I tried to put them in categories. So you got weather here, you got miscellaneous here. You've got more weather, you got money and finance, you've got holidays and celebrations, food and drink, clothing, work and office. These are more decorative. Oh, and I forgot these pages at the end. I think there's like 10 pages at the end that are perforated that you can rip out for whatever reason you may want to do that. These are banners and shapes, flags and banners. I will link the stencil kit that this comes from in my description, because this, if you're new to bullet journaling, but you want to set up some really, if you're interested in this, I know a lot of people use Happy Planner and they use their budget planner, or some people use, there's a lot of different tools that people use. But if there's anyone out there that's interested in creating their own financial bullet journal, stencils are your friend. Just get a pack of Crayola markers and some stencils, and just go to town and just get a ruler and just start creating layouts. and you can create whatever you want. And if one month a layout doesn't work, you can start it again the next month or the next week. So that's the beauty of bullet journaling, is you can just, you know, keep revising, keep creating. But these stencils are great for people who are beginners and don't know how to put their shapes in. And I love stencils. I love stencils and stamps because they can make a planner very decorative, very easily, very quickly. And so, and you have some letters here. And then this is my other attempt at spacing, grid spacing. And that's pretty much it. So that is my bulleting, my budget bullet journal. Like I said, I'm going to be making improvements. I'm going to put a cover on here, and I'm going to be showing you how this is evolving over the year. These pages, these initial pages, I will probably not be showing because I don't show my income on camera. So these pages right here, I probably won't be showing. I will probably show you my overall net worth, but I probably won't be showing you my actual income on camera. But yeah, most of this other stuff I will be sharing with you, and you can see the progress. And if you have any suggestions on things you think I should have put in here that I didn't put in here, let me know, and I can see if it works. And also, if this is something you think you might want to set up for yourself, it is. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a little while to figure out what I want to do because I'm extra and I want it to be pretty. But you know, you can do this with a pen and a ruler and just the journal, and just put everything in here. I just like the idea of having everything in a bound book that I can reference back to. I like it. But you know, like I said, I'm extra. Some people don't want to do all this. They like the happy planner with the budget templates that they have, and that's great for them. And they just, girl, why are you going to do all this? And I also wanted something I could use all my supplies in. And yes, I can use my supplies in my happy planner, but the structure that it had, I wasn't crazy about. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about using it. I'm excited about setting it up every month. I'm excited about being a little bit creative. And yeah, so I say all that to say this is just for budgeting, but I've also created a personal one. So if you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments. And I can tell you that from this one to my personal one, which is the second one I set up, I've made some improvements, and there's entirely different categories. My personal one does not have budgeting in it because it's in here. So that's a long video, and I thought this video was actually going to be quite short, but it's gone on longer because I've been rambling. So I hope you like this video. I hope you stay to the end. If you stay to the end, what should we put? Hashtag Yellow Brick Road. So I was going to say hashtag Yellow Brick Road to financial freedom, but that seems really long. So we'll just put hashtag Yellow Brick Road if you made it to the end of the video. And if I didn't say it to you, one other thing. Golden Girl Budgets and One Frugal Introvert, y'all, I don't know what y'all did, but after both of you put out videos with my products in it, and Golden Girl Budgets was having a giveaway, and she featured one of my products, and I got so much traffic from that, and I can't even thank you enough, and I am so grateful for that. Thank you so much. And One Frugal Introvert also showed one of my products on the same day, and I believe I got traffic from that because I'm getting a lot of sales from that. So if you're new here, I'm welcome, and I hope I didn't disappoint with this video. It's a little long, but I welcome, and thank you for helping me reach 500 subbies, which I wasn't even pushing. I figured, you know, in the new year, I'll work on that. We'll see if we get to 500 subbies, and the fact that I got it to it in less than a week is just kind of flooring me. So I thank you all, and my goal is to be more consistent, put out more relevant content, and hopefully keep you a little entertained and not bored, and just be a contributor and helpful to the community, because you guys have helped me out so much. So I'm going to let this go for now, and I wish you all a happy and healthy, if I don't talk to you, and if this is, you know, you're taking a break from YouTube, which we all should take a break from YouTube during the holidays, spend it with family. Don't be online if you don't need to. It can be kind of stressful and stuff just goes on, but you know, spend time with your families, spend time away if you need to, if that's what you want to. If you love YouTube, you don't want to go away, don't do that either. Don't go away. But I am rambling again. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe holiday, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.